I've gone from $60,000 in student and car debt to having saved my first $50K within just a span of 5 years. I was only able to accelerate that once I've learned how to manage my finances, recognize bad money habits, and take proactive steps towards building my wealth. So in this video, I'll share the worst mistakes in finance that I've made and the bad habits that I had that kept me from getting out of debt and saving more. Let's go. So here's how it started. As an immigrant to Canada, the concept of taking credit was new to me, but I needed to get education, so I happily took out a student loan for my bachelor's degree. In fact, I didn't feel bad failing some classes and retaking them, and effectively paying double for that class, because credit was so easily accessible. It was literally just 2 clicks and the money is in your account. I also took out a car loan I could not afford because, well, why not take another loan since it's so easy? That's how I raked up $60,000 in debt at my worst year. The moment you pull the money out of the credit account and see a nice sum in your bank account, that moment feels nice. But that feeling instantly evaporates the moment you see an ever-growing and never-reducing credit bill. What made the situation worse was that I treated my credit cards the same way I would treat the credit line, paying it off only when I felt like it, with whatever the amount I felt like paying. It was really bad. I lived above my means, living the cool North American young adult life, and was in debt, and it felt like crap. That debt weighed heavily on me, but I also felt trapped. It was just too easy to tap into. It's hilarious, but the wake-up call for me happened when I finally hit the ceiling of the student loan issued to me. I just could not take any more money. I just maxed it out. What this experience taught me is credit can get addictive. It makes it so easy to live about your means, and the interest you pay on top of that is putting you in debt even more. If you have $1,000 on your credit card and don't pay it off, you will pay around $18 in interest. That's the money you could have put aside in savings account or spent on a lunch with friend. That's a complete waste of money. That's how I learned that easy credit is bad debt, the kind of bad debt that puts you into even more debt. But there was another thing. I didn't even know where my money went. I was never taught money in school. Money was never really deeply discussed within the family either. You make some money and you spend some money, and that's it. End of discussion. Talking about money was considered a bad taste for some reason, as if it's something of being ashamed of. So with that, I just never budgeted. I rarely looked at my bank account unless it was a payday, and I had no idea what I was spending money on month over month. With that, I would often end up spending more money than I had, taking in more credit and making it impossible to save. All changed the first time I became a victim of credit card fraud. I was so afraid of looking at my finances that I did not notice that my credit card got a fraudulent charge of worth $700. I called the bank a month later, and they didn't even take me seriously at first because of how long it took me to spot that fraudulent charge. This incident taught me to pay much closer attention at what I'm spending my money on. It started with keeping track of my credit card transactions on a weekly basis, setting up transactions alerts, and ultimately budgeting. Setting up a clear framework of how much money I plan to spend helped me a lot as well. I use the framework of 50-30-20. 50% on the living expenses like rent, utilities, and food, 30% on nice-to-haves like going out with friends or subscriptions or hobbies, and 20% on savings. With that, I decided I wouldn't spend more than 30% of my income on rent. So I made it a non-negotiable to make sure that I don't go over $800 rent at the time. I nearly eliminated the 30% of nice-to-haves and put them towards paying off my debt. And I started saving at the same time. And that's the thing, and that brings me to the next point. If you're not saving, you're messing your future up. What I think helped me immensely on that journey of becoming debt-free is saving money while paying off my debt. The biggest misconception is that you need to make more money or be debt-free in order to save more money. And that's not true. There's so much power behind having that financial cushion when everything else is going to shit. There's a tremendous psychological effect to it. You should try it. Try saving, even if you're paying off your debts right now. See how that feels for yourself. For me, there was nothing more empowering than seeing that small savings number growth month over month. In fact, it made it so much easier for me to stick to my budgeting and continue with my savings and debt repayment plan. And if you're saying that you don't have any extra money to save, that's not true. The point is, you can and you should always save. Just like you buy a beer on a Friday night or coffee in the morning or that avocado toast at brunch. Make it a habit to save. Make it a priority, even if it's just $5 here and there. And if you struggle with it, there are some cool solutions where you round up every single purchase you make on a credit card, and every week or month, the rounded up amount gets automatically deposited in your savings account. This pretty much allows you to start saving on autopilot without even thinking about it. Check with your bank if it has that feature and simply turn it on. Or you can use the link in the description box below to open a TFSA account with Questrade, connect your credit cards to that, and enjoy automatic savings as well. The minimum savings to aim for is an emergency fund, saving an equal to 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, so that in case anything happens, like you lose a job, you don't have to stress about money or going into debt, and you can tap into your emergency fund easily. Speaking of TFSA accounts, that's another thing that kept me poor. Well, not the TFSA account in itself, but not using TFSA for investing. TFSA is a tax-free savings account, which means that any money you make, you don't pay additional tax on. In other cases, any interest or investment income you make are subject to capital gains tax in Canada. When I had just started investing, I just kept my savings in a regular TFSA, and it paid me something like 1 or 2% interest, which was practically nothing. Everything's changed when I started investing, and my savings also started growing much faster. Full disclosure, investing is not for everyone, and if you barely have any money saved up, investing can be risky and create more stress for you than necessary. However, if you already started building out a financial cushion, it is an important step towards financial security and prosperous future. Another thing that changed the way I think about income specifically is understanding the tax system. In my 3rd year of studies, I've learned that I was leaving so much money on the table by not claiming tuition fee tax credit, for instance. It is intimidating to learn to understand accounting and the provincial taxation rules, but it's all worth it. It fundamentally changed how I think about money, and it inspired me to start side hustles and designing the life that I want. We also recently purchased a home, and knowing how taxation works when you're buying a home helped us save thousands of dollars in tax. Effective tax planning helps strategize how and when to make or spend money, helping you save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So I could not recommend enough to do some research and learn more about tax in Canada. If you're looking for a good place to start, we've made an old but gold video about tax in Canada, as well as dove deeper into how TFSA and RRSP work, so make sure to check these videos out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you found this video helpful, please gently tap the like button below and subscribe to our channel, and share this video with a friend. And if you'd like to support the work that we do, you can join our YouTube membership. This will be a tiny but a mighty contribution to helping us making more better videos. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.